Are you looking for a new football news app? Big man, it's been 2 whole years since you asked me this question, but luckily for you, I actually am. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, you need to check out OneFootball. This is the app that gives you all the latest news in the footballing world, as well as live score updates directly to your phone. You want to keep up to date with the footballing world with the Premier League season just around the corner? This is how you're gonna do it. You can select your favorite clubs that you receive live updates about them specifically. Liverpool to Barcelona, Real Madrid to Alfreton Town. Still don't know whether it has them or not. But as you can see, its design is slick. It's very, very easy to use. And on top of that, it is free to download. There really is no reason why you wouldn't. So there is a link down below in the description for you guys to go and check it out and download it. Make sure you do.
Absolutely astonishing.
You have the right to remain silent under section 198 of the Stewards Looking After Act of 1950. Oh God, my head. It's a good week, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, guys, it is your boy Niran here, and welcome to FTW. This, of course, is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. So what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, it was an awkward moment in Formula 1 when on the grid at the US Grand Prix, as Martin Brundle, on his usual grid walk, chased after Megan Thee Stallion for an interview.
Who are you supporting in the race? I can do that because I did.
And it caused a stir as to whether celebrities should be actual guests at sports events. To be honest with you, Meg seemed sound. She thinks Daniel Ricciardo's a 5-star pizza place in New York, but still sound. And why are we shocked at bodyguards acting like dickheads when we know what 80% of bouncers are like? In you come, ladies. Yeah, all of you, come through. Don't worry about it. Yeah, did you get my Snapchat? No. Oh, I see. All right, mate. Oh, sorry, mate. Yeah, the club's closed right now, so unfortunately, I'm gonna have to send you away. But if United's defense were bodyguards, I know what they'd look like. Now, you know what? I'm gonna remain impartial. I'm not even gonna be harsh on Man United. Man United were obliterated in an embarrassing 5-0 defeat at the hands of their bitterest rivals, Liverpool.
Manchester United.
After an impressive but alarming comeback against Atalanta last week, Liverpool dealt Ole his biggest blow as United manager, dismantling them and leaving his side 4-0 down at half-time. I thought he was about to walk into the changing room and see the news himself. Breaking here on Nige Sports News, we're hearing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been sacked with immediate effect for being a, quote, pagan. Who am I kidding? Cristiano Ronaldo is leading the team talks in the dressing room. These hand signals he was putting up, but all he needs to have the same coaching badges as Ole. Honestly, this football match was surreal to watch. From minute 1, Liverpool had all manner of space. There was no defensive structure between fullbacks and centre-backs. There was no connection between midfield and attack. I mean, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw were socially distancing from Liverpool players. Giving the ball to Scott McTominay should be considered a foul, and you should get booked for time wasting. You got Sir Alex Ferguson in the crowd considering coming out of retirement aged 99 to fix this.
You guys are in a crisis. I'm on my way.
He needed a stair lift to get to his own seat, and it's happened in your own backyard. 5-0 at home.
You don't even look comfortable in your own ends.
Liverpool fans were singing Ollie's at the wheel in the away end. After Mark Goldbridge said on Twitter that Liverpool minus Fabinho were beatable, Specsavers got in on the act, and Manchester City midfielder Fernandinho's son posted this on his Instagram story. Housery award for everybody here. This felt like a landmark moment. You had Manchester United fans filling up the streets outside the stadium going home at half-time. And I'm not surprised because I've never seen United defend this badly. Their defensive stats across the season make sense when you watch this game. But as much as United were bad, I've not even spoken about King Mo getting himself a hat-trick at Old Trafford.
The man is extraordinary. The match is extraordinary. The scoreline is extraordinary.
extraordinary.
He made Luke Shaw look like a tumble dryer, and if the Ballon d'Or was in 3 months, he wins it for me. He's in unreal form, and Naby Keita was impressive as well, even if his shin pads looked like a custard cream. At the other end, and it was a frustrating day for Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored what he thought was a consolation goal and celebrated accordingly. Only for it to be disallowed, and kicked out of Curtis Jones when the score was 3-0. Gotta wait to watch his 1080p skill and goals highlights from this one. He's got more shots on Curtis Jones than he has on goal. The United fans that did stay in the ground were not impressed. They let the players know what they thought, and Jesse Lingard was catching stray bullets.
Come on, man.
One United fan snuck home a Liverpool memento. Meanwhile, for Liverpool fans... okay, maybe we didn't deserve to win the game after all. But if you thought this was grim... Is that Paul Scholes biting his own daughter's toenails?
What the fucking hell's happening?
Why is this happening? What is going on here? So you're telling me there's no scissors to hand? Use clippers, fam. Don't dive in like a Futsa KFC bargain bucket. Those Scholes quotes from other legends of the game have changed quite drastically, but I don't want to hear this man compared to Gerrard or Lampard again. He's nibbling on. He's a collector of more dodgy thumbnails than Seasons 2. He'll have a field day when he finds the sock drawer open. Now for me, Paul Pogba avoids that red card if he substitutes himself onto the pitch earlier. He's a big unit, he provides some stability in that midfield, he's at least 6 foot. Feet, you say? If this man serves you at JD Sports, get out of there. Much like Paul's favourite type of night in, it ended in defeat for United, and one that sees Ollie on the edge of the sack. We've won, but at what cost? In conclusion, Ollie out? No, your ma and your birth tits out from Conor McGregor. What the f is going on? There's already rumours on his managerial replacement. I wish I could have seen Antonio Conte's face, realising he's got missed calls from Ed Woodward on Sunday.
And I went, fuck off, and put the phone down.
Meanwhile, Zinedine Zidane's going straight to voicemail. For me, as a Liverpool fan, one of the best footballing days of my life, I can wholeheartedly say. It's a great time to be a Liverpool fan. Mo Salah's form right now is genuinely disgusting. Meanwhile, for United fans, and they won't be hearing the end of this one for quite some time, there was a heavy defeat inflicted on Norwich by Chelsea in the Premier League as well, as they beat the Canaries 7-0 at Stamford Bridge. Mason Mount's hat-trick saw him the star of the show, though he forgot the match ball at the end and Jorginho had to go and collect it for him. All of Chelsea's first goals came from academy graduates as well. Their youth system is absolutely unreal these days. Though in fairness, the current crop of 8-year-olds could do a job versus this Norwich side. How can you lose 7-0 to a team without both of its main strikers? Lukaku's crying in Sainsbury's because he can't get involved. Timo's in the crowd, disgusted at the flavour of sweet that he's being given. This is him behind a guy that gave him a handful of orange wine gums. But congrats to Norwich on their championship title for 2022-23. How can they get promoted to the Premier League with 99 points, then go back down with 7.5? They might as well set up a direct debit for parachute payments. Somebody just create like a championship and a half for them and West Brom. And speaking of the current championship, it's the usual protagonists again. Could we not? In midweek, and there was a crazy shock in the Conference League, as Roma were beaten 6-1 by Norwegian side Bodø Glimt. It's the first time that a side managed by Mourinho has ever conceded 6 goals in a game. Though for me, Jose's clearly just very invested in being available for the Newcastle job. To be honest with you, Bodø have some good players and some that have actually moved on to play in better leagues recently. But you've still lost to a team with a / in it. You've been defeated by a website domain. Who's next? Molder.org. Not only that, but hat-trick hero Eric Botheim appears in the famous Haaland rap video in the black shirt from when they were kids together. And it's been a bad week for Jose too, because he was sent off after a touchline outburst versus Napoli in the league.
There is no passion.
But did manage to find a way to give orders to the team from behind the dugout. Wait, does anyone else hear that?
There is no vision. There is no aggression.
Back at the home of his biggest Premier League rivals, and Arsenal won the Emi Martinez derby, Arsenal have really fallen to bantering their former backup goalkeeper as a way of saying hold that. It didn't stop Alexander Lacazette's wild celebrations again. This man probably knee slides through his living room when he pours his cereal correctly. They did, however, beat Aston Villa without the help of their left back Kieran Tierney, who missed the game due to a bruised ankle. Can't lie, Mikel Descan, it isn't looking good. Alright, Christ, just tell me, what is it? I'm afraid Kieran has a boo-boo. Arsenal are, however, making moves in the transfer market as they've signed Zayn Ali Salman to their academy at the age of 4 years old. The kid's still at nursery and he's already more influential than Nicolas Pepe. Get him in the first team and show him what's what. Get Gabriel crunching in for a challenge. I'm not even gonna lie, this kid is very skillful for the age that he is. But it does make me question, like, what's his wage? A 99p star mix. And at Everton, the Toffees were 2-1 up against Watford until 12 minutes to go before the visitors came back to win the game 5-2. All this after bringing on Iwobi. You can see the tweets here, every single one's a Watford goal. This could be considered match fixing. Former Liverpool manager Agent Rafa is doing the business. It's the only explanation for him signing a Venezuelan blacksmith up top. A good win for Watford as well. It takes them further away from the relegation zone, and it means that their last 5 Premier League wins have all come under different managers. In Spain, and Barcelona were defeated again, this time 2-1 to Real Madrid in El Clasico. Ronald Koeman was surrounded by fans when trying to leave the stadium after the match. Little did they know he was disguised as a woman in the crowd. I mean, I know, look, Barca fans, it's a disaster right now. But what do you expect? They've got nothing in the bank account. Barcelona are in their overdraft. Nothing left. I mean, the social media account doesn't even care about their own results anyway, probably. They'll be wishing Lionel Messi good luck in his next game against Lille. Speaking of PSG, and they played out a stalemate 0-0 draw in Le Classique versus Marseille. On loan centre-back William Saliba looked unreal again with a beautiful challenge to deny Kylian Mbappe. And so did Marseille's newest recruit, this random fan who ran onto the pitch to tackle Lionel Messi as well. He doesn't need extra defenders coming on against him. He's finding it hard enough as it is against 11 players, and their Argentine striker Mauro Icardi is still in the news. It all kicked off on Instagram again when Mauro posted a picture of Wanda in bed with him with her hand down his trousers. You know what? Bunt this story. I don't actually care. The long and short of it is they've made up again. 2 toxic people living happily ever after. Aye, to be fair, she still doesn't follow him back on Insta. No, that is the end. That's the end of the story. Barca centre-back Samuel Umtiti appears to be struggling with his left and right on Instagram. Oh, Paul, for crying out loud, man. Meanwhile, there's the story of an on-loan Leganes striker, Borja Garces, who's been told by his manager that he'll never play for the club again after he requested a morning off to attend his brother's wedding and be back before their game at 9 p.m. The manager said no, and he decided to go anyway. I mean, it's not a bad request. He's not going to get married again tomorrow, is he? Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Todo, la número 11, le falta mandar el centro, la dejó para Martínez, le pegó mal Martínez y Rodríguez Palma que se complica.
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home, and Pep Guardiola invited a Brighton steward onto the bench with him to analyse Man City's performance.
When they jam, the space is get. They don't jam, he's alone. Turn, go, commit.
Either that or he was asking where the away fans are. Russian side Zenit posted this trophy picture on Twitter, and if you look closely, you can see someone familiar. According to them, Harry Kane was just getting a view of some actual silverware. At Wolves, and we've got a quadruple save from an under-18s goalkeeper.
Not just one save, it's about 3 or 4 there, like the keeper. He has been overworked. He's over his goals, he's up and down, and again, might have come off his head there, I think.
Dylan Markande came on for his Tottenham debut in a Conference League defeat to Chelsea's B team, and he made him the first ever player to represent Tottenham of Asian or Indian descent, and we back that representation around here. Meanwhile, Paul Pogba helped to announce the world's first vegan boot. To be honest, I also like to know that there's no lamb in my shin pads. So, over in the Polish Ekstraklasa, we had a very unfortunate situation for an attacker. Over in France, an AS Nancy defender, Giovanni Haag, is going to be banned for the next 3 games because he's been sent off 4 times in just 12 games this season. That means that he's been suspended for 7 of the first 15 games this season for the Ligue 2 side. It's been a wild week in the MLS. First of all, we've got this RKO maneuver from goalkeeper Tim Melia. Probably one of the most unfortunate goalkeepers in the world with this penalty.
Austin's top scorer! Oh, and it's back off the post and in!
And over at LA Galaxy, one fan in the crowd was proposing to his girlfriend and seemingly getting a positive response, only for opposition attacker Kevin Cabral to do this on the pitch. Over in Ecuador, we've got a beautiful celebration here, because if there's no fans in the stadium to see the goal that you've scored, you might as well give an applause to yourself. Now though, for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, last week we saw the brilliant side of this nation, with one forward called Ronaldo scoring 2 screamers in one game. The first clip of Romania this week doesn't quite match those capabilities.
No.
And there's also the story of FCSB, who've had to forfeit their next game in the Romanian Cup against FC Voluntari because they've run out of players due to a COVID-19 crisis at the club. Their last league game, they were only able to field 2 substitutes, one of which was a goalkeeper and one of which was a teenager. But now the virus has spread through the team to a point at which they can't even field a starting 11. Over in Korea, we've got a wholesome story of a man who has a best friend in England who supports Ipswich Town. This Ipswich supporter has been going on about his favourite club for so long that his Korean best mate has decided to start supporting them too. In Brazil, not quite so wholesomely, this Santos player managed to get himself sent off just 1 minute after coming on as a sub. We've got the greatest challenge ever in Solihull's game against Altrincham from a fan. Our favourite Estonian club, Pied, beat a B team 14-0 in their most recent fixture this week. I was encouraged to include it in the video. It seems like Pied themselves would like their own segment at this point. In Sweden, and Zambian midfielder Emmanuel Banda produced this ridiculous volley. Meanwhile, Kilmarnock played rivals Ayr United in the Cup yesterday. Kilmarnock's goalkeeper posted this on Insta with the location. I mean, I don't need to explain it to you. See, that's weird. I don't remember Uncle Ben picking up Spider-Man from football trials. Now though, it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this week's Still 0-0 is a record-breaking one, as 2 sides based in the Midlands in England by the name of Old Wolfrunians and Lane Head broke the English penalty shootout record of 44 spot kicks. After their JW Hunt Cup first round game ended 3-3, it went to penalties, and half an hour later, the shootout ended 19-18. And that came with Jack Marsh, who's the son of Old Wolfrunian's chairman, hitting the winning penalty. On to the weird stuff though now. Less so weird, actually more so impressive first of all. But over in the African Confederations Cup, and a 2nd division side from Mali are through to the latter stages of the competition after beating a team from Burkina Faso on penalties. It doesn't sound too crazy, but imagine like Barnsley getting to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Parkgate Football Club announced their man of the match with the help of a fan who's been going to games for 20 years. The prize Martin had on offer for being the best player in this match: an original unwrapped Sugar Babes album from 2002. Over in Scotland, and there were wild scenes for Brecon City's Sam Denham, who on the way to their game in the evening against Haddington Athletic was involved in a serious car crash. He came away without any sort of major injury and later played a full 90 minutes as well as scoring in the game to help his side to victory in the Scottish Cup. And lastly, the most important story of all today, the story of Josh Cavallo, who has become the first openly gay footballer in the world this week. The Adelaide United midfielder announcing this on his social media this morning. It's brave and also inspirational as well, not only for other footballers who may be having some trouble in fully expressing and accepting who they are, but also fans and the public too. There's someone to look up to now. Massive props to Josh, and great to see an overall positive reaction. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.